So the struggles in my life with coming out was like the most difficult part ever. The first time I came out, I was 11 years old. I had like no support whatsoever from my family or my friends. They all called me names. Like my mom was like, it's a phase. She was so against it. Throughout my life, like I made a dramatic change and shaved off my hair and was like, had all these emotions inside of me, like giving up. At such a young age, I was only 11, 12 years old, going through like depression, like mad depression, because no one can accept who I was or how I felt with other people. Like I felt like there was something wrong with me. Like there was nowhere to belong. I had nowhere to go. I felt hopeless. Like I felt like I couldn't even belong in my family because I was so different. Like I grew up in a Catholic family, so me being a part of, like the church was like really hard for me because they were talking about, how it's a sin to like the same sex, and I was like thinking I'm going to go to hell and there's no hope for me. I felt like the biggest statistic in the world. But like, so I tried to please my family when I was like 13 and 14 and was like, I'm going to try to be a girl and not be comfortable with myself. So like, I was like going through phases with like, I'm going to try to please my family, but this is not who I am. So I would go to school and like feel like so uncomfortable in my own skin because of what I was wearing and how people looked at me. And I didn't feel comfortable like if I talked to a girl because I didn't want them to be like, get away, you like girls to me. It was like, whatever, So like, I like went to like a place and I was like in juvenile detention. They put me there. They said it was like the safest place for me to go or something. And I was there and like I had like all these stresses on my head, and I couldn't handle it. Like growing up like differently, like my family would be like, oh, she's gay because she got molested when she was 7, or she's just confused, and look at her dressing like a girl, she's changing, she's gonna like boys, she's gonna marry a guy, like already picking things out for me. Like, so like I got in trouble, my only way to escape and stuff, because I felt like no one was there to help me and stuff. So like I was in juvie and like I was just overwhelmed, and like, so like they had like rubber bands, and like I tried to commit suicide that day. And honestly, it was because of all the things in my head, everything. I felt not wanted by anybody in my life. They had to like resuscitate me. I woke up on an oxygen machine, like so angry at like the world for making me feel like I had to do something like this. While like I was in like a hospital to get better, they said that there's problems wrong with me. And for some reason, I felt every time they said there was a problem, it was because I was gay. And I just couldn't figure it out. And I think that's why a lot of my like young adolescent years was filled with like confusion and not knowing what path to go on. So I found E.O.N when I was like 16. I walked into it when it was like, I believe it was somewhere else. It's like E.O.N is a place for us to go to. They said it's like for LGBTQ youth to go to find people that are just like them and supportive. So like I walked in there and walked back out and was like, this is not for me. And I came back to WingSpan, and I found a group of people that were just like overwhelming supportive. Like I can tell them about anything in my life, like no judge at all, like no matter what I said or how I felt. And like, if I swear, if I didn't have help with E.O.N and WingSpan and another program that I'm involved with, is called Clean and Sober Theater, like I would never feel as comfortable as I am in my own skin. Like now that I know that there is help out there for people like me, I encourage as many people as I can to these type of facilities, these type of programs, just to help youth accept who they are and help their families accept who they are, because I feel like acceptance is like one of the biggest difficulties for people, and to feel accepted in a community full of your own people, like, you know, that are just like you or accept you for you is just awesome. And there's always places like that, you know, and I wish I would have seen it younger, when I was younger, honestly. But now that I have it, I like try to push as many youth to come here, because it will help you instead of leading you to other decisions that aren't good and that are forever. So yeah. And like, I just want to say like one type of thing, like if I like, now that I see people talking, saying mean remarks to other young people, and are saying just like physically doing things to them and saying rude things to them, like I always tell them, like, speak, even if your voice shakes. Like, who cares, you know? Like, just speak up for yourself and your community, and that's what I learned, and that's what I do at everyday basis. So, like, never give up. Like, never give up. Don't ever give up. You have to keep going, because once you overcome the obstacles, there's always a great reward at the end.